first impression was, yeah, you don't need to keep it. But honestly, I really do like it. We can keep this over here.
What, the bronze?
At first I was like, eh.
So whatever. But in person, you kind of get a feel for like the character and like some of the cool shit.
Right? Hi, I'm Patrick.
And I'm Adam.
And this is Clock.
Stock. And Barrel.
Welcome to another episode, gang. We just acquired something very fun. You added this to your collection how long ago?
A week. No, not even a week. Week or so. Yeah.
This is a week.
Yeah,
so this is a first impression for me, and this is a week in the life for Adam on his new Tudor Bronze. This is the Bronze Black Bay.
That's right. A piece that I love now. I keep falling in love with it more and more. So I'll kind of give you guys just a preface or a kind of talk and review.
You've worn this almost exclusively for the last week.
Yeah, right? Pretty much.
Oh, speaking of wearing watches, I've got right now my 65. If you watch any of our other previous videos, you probably have a slight idea of my impression of it. It's great. Hang tight for that review. I'd love to share my thoughts.
And then I'm just rocking my blacked out fashion watch. My El Hero Orsaquis that I recently got, I think last week too. But yeah, so Tudor Bronze, that's what we're here to talk about, right? So this was by no means a grail. I mean, it just came out last year, right? So it's not like I would have had this.
You've been thinking about this for ages.
Right.
You always imagined they would make a bronze
Black Bay.
Yeah.
So I owned a Black Bay Blue before, and I actually ended up flipping that.
Yeah, that was the Edda movement.
Yeah, I think if it was on a bracelet, I would have loved it a little bit more. But so a Panerai has always been a grail of mine. I've always loved, in particular, the Panerai Bronzo. But if you guys can look it up. It's like the Pam. I don't even know what the reference is, but just look up Pam Bronzo. It's the submersible, and you'll see those are trading at like $25,000 right now. So there's no chance in hell I'm ever going to own that, right? Yeah, even if I win the lottery, I'm not going to spend $25 for a bronze Panerai.
They're limited to a certain number.
And they're limited to 1,000. And there's two different versions that came out. I think one in 2011, one in 2012. So, anyways, I've always loved that. Always loved the idea of having a bronze watch.
And it was up to 2 for you, because you were considering the 65 Carl Brashear,
yeah.
As opposed to the Tudor. You went with the Tudor.
Right, I went with the Tudor because, one, the Brashears are already really hot right now, and they're sold out everywhere, so people are paying the full retail for those bad boys. At least from what I've gathered.
And I don't think they're going to drop.
I don't think so either.
For a bit.
And the thing is this Tudor for just a little bit more money, less than $1,000 more, less than $800 more, you get a Tudor with the brand new in-house movement.
Mm-hmm. Right? You can see their literature at the bottom there. It's chronometer certified. This is of course the in-house movement. You'll notice the difference in the text and the case size between the Edda-based movement and the in-house movement. The literature on those older Tudors is arced,
right?
Whereas it's flat line for the newer ones.
So
that's how I immediately tell.
So this movement, I think it's the MT. It's on the back. MT, what is it? 4601 or something like that. It's a 70-hour power reserve. It's COSC certified. It uses a silicone hairspring. So this is, in my eyes, this is like owning a friggin' Rolex movement almost, you know?
Well, the case is there, so...
The case is there, and you have this brand new awesome in-house movement. And I know this movement just came out, I believe, last year. Yeah. So, there haven't been... It hasn't been long enough for there to be enough, data gathered on these movements. But I haven't had any issues. It's been running, I think minus a second a day or something like that.
Oh, the other good bit of news is you get options with these straps, of course.
Yeah.
So you get this military-inspired... It's interesting. I wouldn't call it a NATO per se. Tell us about this fabric strap.
Yeah, no, it's from what I've read, it's woven by wooden spindles. They do a very traditional. This is very traditional strap making that they have for this piece, and it's inspired by the. This is an Erica's original strap.
That's an Erica's original strap, and it's a Marina military.
Yeah, so the French military used these. These were basically pieces of parachute fabric, and they were green with the yellow. When you put the yellow stripe down the middle, and they would just loop those through their Tudor Tudor snowflakes, MN issued snowflakes, if you guys are familiar with those. So they decided to kind of do a little homage to that and create this sort of like brownish, like mustardy, khaki.
And it really works. I mean,
yeah, it works really well with that bronze.
Perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it comes with a great leather strap as well, which is really nice. This is definitely quality leather that you get with a $3,000+ watch.
Just know that it's not, if you buy this bronze Tudor, you can't go swimming or you wouldn't want to go showering with a leather strap.
And it has a little bit of suede on the inside too, which makes it even more comfortable.
Yeah.
And the nice little Tudor signed
and one
bronze buckle.
One thick buckle, by the way.
Yeah.
It's also
matches the watch.
It's also bronze, so you guys know.
Yeah. So the bronze is 43 millimeters, 2 millimeters larger than the standard Black Bay. I think it works really well though.
It's larger. Oh.
Yeah, it's 43, and the others are 41. Yeah. But I think it works really well. I think the way that they replaced the indices with the 369 numerals, it goes really well with that larger dial.
Similar to Explorer dial.
Exactly. And I love the 60-click bezel too, rather than the 120-click bezel.
Oh yeah, and I'm actually a huge fan of 60-click bezels. I mean, they feel more precise, and there's less. I mean, from what I've seen, I've never seen a 60-click bezel that was misaligned. That would really suck.
Right.
But I see 120-click bezels misaligned all the time. I don't know if that's something to do with how they're manufactured or placed, but it's nice. And you know what? The coin edge bezel on this guy is phenomenal.
It's sharp.
Yeah.
You know what's really cool too about these Black Bays and this bronze as well is here. I'll let you turn it. But when you get back to 12, there's a little kind of stop, letting you know that you got to 12.
And there's the same thing as your blue.
Yes. So try that out real quick. Once you get to 12, you'll feel that it kind of gives you a little stop.
Yeah.
Go a little bit faster. Go all the way back around.
Yeah, wow.
Which is kind of cool, because you could probably even do that with your eyes closed if you wanted to. But it's nice to sort of have that stop there. You don't have to really worry about it. You know that if you spin it, it'll kind of go right back into place. Blah.
So some of the other things to note, it's what's its thickness? This guy has
I believe it's 14 millimeters.
Yeah,
I want to say.
Okay,
yeah.
14 millimeters, and that is with that bobbled sapphire crystal. And we might be a little off here. It might be a little bit taller than that. Other than that, it has a 22 millimeter. This looks like
22. Yep, 22 millimeter strap.
So there's a few dissimilarities with its counterpart, which is just a regular Black Bay steels. And so far as my first impression is concerned, I didn't really think much of it, man. I've seen the Black Bays, I like the Black Bays a lot. Would I own one? Not necessarily.
Maybe a black one.
Yeah, the black one's classic. I love the
black ETA.
Those gold accents on the Black Bay are fantastic.
Yeah,
so I looked at some of Adam's recent divers. He's picked up a lot of divers, and now he's sort of whittling through which ones he wants to keep. And in my opinion, I didn't really think that this Tudor was a keeper. But upon further inspection, just looking at it, the case design itself is classic Rolex. The bezel action's phenomenal. The crown action's phenomenal.
Holes case too, which I love.
Yeah.
The normal Black Bays don't have the holes case, so it's really cool that they have that.
And the snowflake handset.
Yeah, I can't beat that.
It gets me every time. I really like it. There's a lot to like about it. Plus, you have this gorgeous brown bezel insert and this very faded brownish dial, like really nice applied markers. It's great. It's really fun. It's just a joy to look at, and it's a fun bronze watch. So and how has your time with it been?
I've loved it so far. It's 43. I'll give you guys a quick wrist shot. It does wear like a true 43. I think it looks pretty big, doesn't it? But I have 7.25 inch wrists, so 43. I can still pull off 43.
Yeah, you don't want to get much bigger than that.
Yeah, and I mean this is starting to get pretty because you can see the lug to lug.
Is the lug to lug like 50 or more?
I have no idea. It's got to be close to 50 though, because it's not overhanging by any means, but it's definitely getting up.
You guys
there,
will see in a second, yeah.
So I'll kind of do a shot from a distance so you guys can see. It's always It always looks way bigger when the camera's up close. And then here, I'll bring it up a little bit closer. But yeah, guys, one of the reasons, like I said, a Panerai Bronzo is one of my favorite watches of all time. And another reason that I really, really enjoy the idea of having a bronze watch is, as you guys, probably most of you guys know, a bronze watch will develop a patina over time. So I'm not going to force any patina, even I could if I wanted to, but I'm just going to let this naturally patina over time. Really excited to see how it looks by this summer. It's probably going to change a lot when I have it out in the humidity and maybe take it to the beach a bit. And I really love kind of the vintage Rolex, like ghost bezels, faded bezels, you know, all of that with the faded dials and all that stuff. But the thing is like I don't have 10 years of patience to wait and see how my bezels change, especially because I'm not a one-watch guy, so it's not like I'm going to be wearing the same watch. I'd probably flip it before I could even see that.
See any of that?
So, since I'm impatient, I kind of like the idea that I get to see aging on a watch, you know, in even just a few short weeks, rather than years, a decade. So it's going to be really cool to see it basically age before my eyes. And the other really cool thing, too, is with just a little bit of lemon juice and some soda or something, you can bring this back. This can be fully patinaed, and then I can bring this back to basically like new condition within 10 minutes of putting it in a certain type of solution. So I can kind of reverse this aging process. I can force patina if I want. I can let it happen naturally, and I can keep cycling through throughout the life of this watch, which is going to be my
This is all
life.
the benefit. Yeah, it's all from the benefit of having that bronze case.
Yes, exactly. So that's kind of my reasoning as to get a bronze. Some people think it's a little gimmicky. Some people think the bronze, obsession will fade. I don't think so. I think it'll always be, even if they stop making bronze watches, I think in the future, like, this will have maybe like a vintage appeal, because that was the Bronze Age, where everyone had these bronze.
Yeah,
and they look freaking cool too. You know what I mean? Like, stylistically, I mean, having this with like a pair of brown boots, and like and some jeans and some denim, like it's a badass look, So
he mentioned, Adam mentioned his choices recently just being more fashion forward, I guess.
That's a good way to put it.
He's picking more fashion watches, which is not a bad thing by any means. It's not a derogatory term. It's just that these watches are anything but vanilla. And, seeing a bronze Tudor Black Bay is pretty gnarly in person.
So most of you guys probably know fashion watches as being like Armani,
or Boss.
Right. So what we're saying is here is a more fashionable version of these things. And like I said, I've gone through so many divers at this point. It's like I kind of want something that's a little different. If I'm gonna pick up a diver, that's why I have.
Each other really quick. So this is like everyone knows what the Marine Master 300 is,
right?
But
it's a great watch. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous, right? But I don't know. There's something about having either like an all bronze watch or like this El Hierro that I picked up, this Aquis. I decided to go with a limited edition that's blacked out, which is NBA superstars get these freaking blacked out watches and all these blinged out watches. But for me, it's kind of cool. It adds a little bit of character
to your collection.
Yeah, and I still have my Explorer, my Rolex Explorer, which is one of the most understated pieces in the history of Rolex.
Yeah.
I still have a Nomos. I still have these dress watches. But on the other side of the spectrum, I have these, fashionable kind of divers. And there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like people are always on one side of the table.
Yeah.
It's either like, no, I'm going to go with my vintage pieces. Everything has to be under 40 millimeters. Everything has to be under 38 millimeters. And, I would never get an AP Royal Oak offshore. You know what I mean? Why not get both? Why not, best of both worlds? Yeah. So I'm kind of having fun with exploring a wide variety and range of pieces to fit into my collection. I think that offers a little bit more balance into the collection.
Yeah,
too.
So you guys start collections out there. It's interesting because I've developed my taste in in what I've chosen to keep in my collection so much over all these recent purchases that I feel like a collection could benefit from having a bronze piece, depending on how you limit the size of your collection.
Right.
It's interesting to have one. But the thing is, brown is one of those neutral colors that goes with a lot of different things. And of course, bronze isn't particularly brown, but it has that natural tone to it. And of course the brown accents of this watch lend to it being just as casual as, say, having like a blue watch in your collection or a black watch in your collection,
right,
or a white watch.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's gonna go with a lot of different looks. So yeah,
versatile.
Like bronze. It's like the thing is, these aren't common, but they're just as versatile as having one of those, like the black watch in your collection.
Right.
You know, but PBD black is a little different, but
and maybe for someone who's just trying to develop like maybe a 2 or 3 watch collection, they want the one vanilla watch, right? Or the one vanilla dress watch. Then maybe the one vanilla diver that'll super versatile and will go with a lot of different looks, like an Oris 65, for example.
Yeah.
That can go with a million different looks, right? But I will never ever be a one watch person.
No.
Like I would love to be, but I just never will be because I love collecting watches and just love exploring these different options.
Not that that's the topic, but. Honestly, starting a collection, if you're interested in starting a collection, guys, my firm opinion is pick the one watch that if you could be a one watch individual, pick the one watch that you would consider the singular watch you would keep.
Yeah.
And right now, I could say my Grand Seiko would be, I haven't shown that on the show yet, but you'll see it soon. That would be my one watch. So everything else will sort of form around that.
Right.
And that's sort of my conniption, my issue here with 65 is it could equally be that one watch.
Yeah, and not to go too far off topic, right, guys? So we're kind of getting into more like a philosophical approach about watch collecting and why I have this bronze and just kind of like the idea of having a bronze Tudor instead of going with a super versatile like Black Bay Black.
And I guess that's important for you guys because,
Yeah, it's something to think about, you don't always have to be, you don't always have to listen to what other people say by picking.
But I'm sure you're wondering how this will tie into your collection.
Yeah.
Because it's
exactly, and that's a great
so
point.
Outlandish, but
Yeah.
it's not as crazy as you think when you see it in person.
Yeah, exactly. And I've gotten more compliments on this watch than any other watch I have here, and I've only had this for a week.
That's crazy.
So,
yeah.
I mean, I love it. I love the bronze. A bronze case. I think bronze is awesome. I think black is awesome. I think everything's awesome. If you like it, it's awesome. So overall, I love this piece. I think the movement so far has been amazing. It's everything you could ever want in an in-house movement.
The action on the bezel's tight. I know you guys are concerned about that. I get such various degrees of quality when it comes to dive watches and the bezel action. Like my 65, it's really tinny. But does that bother me? Not necessarily. I'm at complete neutrality when it comes to bezel action because honestly, I only use that function so often because I'm not a professional diver. It's not a big deal, but I would rate that maybe like an 8 out of 10 for bezel action. It's not as nice as the Marine Master.
I do wish that Tudor still used the rose on the dial. I think that was really cool that they did it with. They did that with the Eddas.
They added it to the crown. I'm sure you guys have seen that. But
they have the rose on the crown, which is pretty cool.
It's tied into that heritage of theirs.
Yeah.
A lot of their older watches, that was their logo. Now they have the shield, obviously. But
yeah. So overall, I mean, this watch, if you guys want this watch, I say give it a shot. I think you're gonna love it. If you just want a bronze watch in general, I think you should give it a shot too. There's a lot of great options.
No,
Steinhardt has an homage kind of to this watch.
A lot of micro brands.
A lot of micro brands
making their own bronze watches.
Yeah.
You can comment down below as to
Helsing, Halios, Magret, Boomtech. These are all watches that are under $1,000 that have some type of brass or bronze.
Yeah, let us know in the comments down below what your thoughts are on bronze watches. There's been a huge upsurgence of like bronze watches in the market. So let us know if you own one or you have one or which one you're dreaming about, thinking about owning. If you own the Tudor Bronze, please give us your thoughts. I'd love to hear them. And Adam, right now, it's hard to tell if something's a keeper the first week you get it, but you're enjoying it.
I love it so far. Yeah. I think I'm really enjoying this kind of this variety I'm getting in my collection. So I think some of the pieces that I might be getting now may be keepers for quite a while. So,
Alright guys, if you like this video, feel free to hit that like button. If you disliked it, that's cool too. If you like the content of our channel, feel free to hit the subscribe button. That's why it's there. Gang, thank you for joining us on this episode. Stay tuned for more reviews, unboxings, comparisons, all that stuff. If there's a topic or segment you'd like to see on the show, again, leave a comment. We listen, we hear you, we type back to you.
See you guys.
See you guys.